There is so many options if you want to work in sustainability. Over the last 20 years, I worked in different setups and also in different jobs around the topic. And I also connected to a lot of other sustainability professionals. So I thought I sum up the different options, the setups, the pros and cons, and also the requirements for different sustainability jobs. And then at the end, I will also add another, maybe unexpected option, and I will share my number one observation when it comes to sustainability job offerings. First, let's start with the two basic categories of careers. For most of the fields or setups you could work in, these two categories come into place, and that is the generalist category and the specialist. In my opinion, this is a question of your interests and your personality. I personally am more a generalist type. I want to keep an overview about a lot of topics and I want to bring things together. The requirements for generalists are to have a broader overview, have a basic knowledge of all the different topics in sustainability, and to have communication skills to bring everything together. You are relying more on specialists for each of the topics, and your job then is to bind everything together to make a whole concept out of all the different points. To get there are many different education paths available. You can go for a very formal, let's say, Master of Sustainability study, or you can go self-paced with self-learning courses. A lot of those are even available for free. For the specialist path, then, you would pick a very specific path and therefore you would need some more formal training. There's not as much free stuff available as for generalist knowledge. You probably have to spend some money to get the training that you will need, be it for carbon accounting or for life cycle assessment. Usually you will have to have some specialized training. I guess for the future, AI-supported learning will become very strong in this field because there is a lot of information available, and using AI to extract the knowledge that you need to learn might be a very good option if you want to go this path without breaking the bank. Having covered the basic two different types of jobs, we now jump into the different setups. Most of the jobs are in business, and there are three basic different kinds of businesses. The first one is a sustainable business or social business, where basically all of the jobs would be sustainability jobs, because this business already has the purpose built into their business model. Whatever you work in this business, you will always have the purpose behind it, and you will also always have the feeling to work for, let's say, a good company. Usually there are more people wanting to work for them than they have job offers, so it might not be too easy to get into these companies. And also, because of the purpose inbuilt, the payment might be a bit less than for other companies. An example for this business would be Patagonia. Then the next type would be small or medium-sized businesses. These businesses usually require more of the generalist knowledge, so everyone who's a generalist will probably find their place there. Usually there's also some specialization needed depending on the business, so probably you will have to dig deeper into some of the topics. If you want to work as a generalist and are only starting out, it is probably a good choice to go for a smaller company because you will see a lot. However, as you don't have a big sustainability team around you, you probably will be working on your own. You need to make sure that you have a good network so that you can have sparring partners which know the topic well and can help you and guide you along the way. Mentoring would also be a good option for this kind of job if you start as one-person show in a smaller company. For the bigger companies, if you start out there, you will probably go into a more specialized profession. So you would be starting in a small sector of sustainability and then widening your knowledge on the way. The big advantage of the bigger corporations, of course, is that you always have sparring partners, that you work in a team and that you can exchange around the topic with others. Then the next setup would be to work in academia or research, and there are a lot of jobs available and becoming more and more over the time. However, for these jobs, you need a formal education. They will usually not accept people who transferred into sustainability sideways. However, some cases it might happen, so keep an open mind and keep an open eye also for these jobs. Regarding the purpose, of course, it's great to work for research or for academia, where you also want to look into the future and make the world a better place. Sometimes it might become a bit frustrating if companies don't listen to you because they are still having different preferences and different targets for their businesses. And then there are many non-profit organizations where you can also work in, as financing might be an issue sometimes. Many of the jobs are more on a voluntary basis, maybe first, and then develop into a paid version of the job. So this is a perfect option if you have a day job and just want to work additionally in sustainability. You can start volunteering for one of these organizations, do really good work, and then maybe later transition into a so-called real job within the organization. These jobs in the non-profit organizations are usually highly sought after, so there is some competition around them. And then there's another opportunity, and that is to work either for government or for administration. There are also some jobs available, also a trend of becoming more and more jobs in that direction. However, here, as for academia and research, you probably need a more formal background, even if there are some jobs available which don't require that. But as I said at the beginning of the video, there's also another option, and that would be to simply stay in your job and make it the most sustainable you can make it. So for example, if you work in sales, you could use your role in communicating to customers about more sustainable products, or you can go into the dialogue with the customers and find out what sustainable solutions they really are interested in, and then steer your own company to becoming more sustainable by speaking to the development team and triggering some change within the company. For most of the jobs, there are a lot of options, and if you want, we can start a collection of jobs and what to do there within the comment section. So if you want to know how your job could be more sustainable, just comment your role with a bit of explanation, and we will find together some possibilities to make it more sustainable. Over the years working in sustainability and here and then reading job offerings for sustainability professionals, I made one observation which is quite interesting. For most of the job offerings, there is no formal education regarding sustainability needed. So companies are not requiring a Master of Sustainability for most of the times. This is because not too many people on the job market have these sustainability formal careers, and because there are so many skills needed for the job that it sometimes can be better to transfer from another direction into the sustainability jobs. Another observation is that 3 to 5 years working in sustainability already is a lot. So it's good to know that you don't need 20 years of experience to do well in a sustainability job and on the job market. And overall, I can really recommend this job. Sure, sometimes it can be frustrating if things are not moving fast enough for your liking, and if you have to convince people again and again. However, you know that with a bit of patience and going slowly ahead, you will change the world step by step and day by day. And this is a good feeling, and this makes your job really purposeful. And by the way, if you're planning to transitioning into sustainability jobs, but are not 100% sure what would fit best to you, I can recommend you to watch this video where I explain my method that I use from time to time to see whether my actual job is still a good fit for me.